has the right to tell what they do not want to hear. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Tired of the same repetitive government narratives? Then wave goodbye to the distractions and rhetoric of corporate media. For this is Anti-Media Radio.
But I want to get the language right. The big government is in trouble.
You're all a bunch of slaves! Bunch of slaves!
What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another.
What's your definition of media?
And now, here's your host, S.M. Gibson.
Who is your daddy? It is March the 3rd, 2016, and you're listening to Anti-Media Radio. This is your host, S.M. Gibson. You can listen to us 5 nights a week here on ucy.tv/TAMR at the same anti-media time, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. Catch all the replays on YouTube. And as always, I want to bring on our guest for the night before I start ranting and raving about tonight's episode of Raw, of Fox News Raw, I guess it would be referred to. Our producer / sound director, Shannon Madden. Shannon, how are you?
Sound director, yeah. You come up with all these new little titles for me. Just producer would be fine.
I think sound director is applicable. Yeah. It works.
You called me director last time. I kind of like director. It was very like German, SS sounding.
Very Trump.
Director Madden, yeah.
I'll call you what I want.
Who's your daddy?
That's it.
Man, did you see what daddy was doing on stage tonight? The energy, the fire, the passion. Still ain't got nothing to say.
No, he had nothing to say, but he did hold his hands up and let everyone know that he did not have small hands.
No little fingers.
Oh, speaking of little fingers, that's not the only conversation we had. I'm sorry. The greatest moment of the night is when it finally, when the joke had finally just reached its zenith. Go ahead. You want?
Before you finish that thought, I want to go ahead and bring on Kevin Knight. He's our resident intellectual here, and keeps the show on path.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
You shouldn't have brought the word intellectual into this because I was fixing to get as lowbrow as you possibly can.
I'm going to kick it back to you, Shannon.
Trump's got a big dick. I mean, there's no nice way to say it.
That's what he was insinuating.
Trump bragged about the size of his genitalia on a national presidential public debate.
Add that to the list of first-time things for a presidential candidate to do that Donald Trump has successfully completed. I mean, somewhere out there's a long checklist that we should be adding to and just crossing them off. If they can't be done by Donald Trump, who can they be done by?
Well, I mean, yeah,
he's the only one that at this point I think could actually do these things, and people would say, you know what? But that's besides the point.
I mean, go back and watch the old debates, the old Reagan debates. Everybody keeps dragging him out of the grave tonight. We might as well, too. Go back and look at some of the old Reagan debates back in 1980 and 84. Very stately, very presidential.
Right, very formal.
And tonight, man, it was a barroom brawl.
It's a circus. This could have been an onion.
That ended in, no, my dick is way bigger than you think, man. Come on.
What got me is I think if all things has probably been, and this will be, I can imagine a lot of the Trump supporters at home were either cringing or just refusing to even to recognize it. But in my opinion, I think this is probably the debate that Trump has done significantly worse on. I know you mentioned talking before the show that he'd answered every question. He did. He came back and he had an answer for it. But so many times.
No, see, the thing is you're grading this on previous debates. So you're going back and thinking about some of the debates that I just talked about with Reagan. Even the old ones with Bush. Remember Clinton and the little Clinton's fish with his little thumb sticking up. Mm-hmm. All of the little cool little leadership traits that we've seen. You can't grade what we're seeing right now on those standards, and that's the thing is that everybody keeps trying to keep this presidential election cycle, particularly the GOP race. They're trying to grade on that same scale, and you can't do that.
Okay, I've got a quick question for everybody.
Yes, sir.
Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton are in a boat going down the river. Mm-hmm. Boat capsizes. Who survives?
Ooh.
Do either of them have to?
The American people.
Oh man, yes.
So yeah, it's a big joke. It's what we saw tonight. I mean, I don't even have words for it. David Icke was right. Lizard people exist.
Oh, speaking of lizard people, did you see that one part when Ted Cruz was talking and that thing was hanging growing out of his mouth?
Yeah, the internet's. I've seen that already. I don't know how many times pop up.
We watched it live, and it was like, holy crap! What is that?
It's like he was doing arts and crafts earlier.
No, it's like his tentacles were like coming out of his mouth. He was fixing to go into his true form, and suddenly backed off at the last second. Now it's not the time.
See, I thought of it more as like he had leftover Dippin' Dots on his lip.
No, that wasn't no Dippin' Dots, my friend.
Out there.
Yeah, that was some black ops going on there, man.
Well,
he had like a cyanide capsule.
He is a lizard person.
Do I chew it now? Do I wait till later in the debate?
Oh, that guy's so creepy, and people follow him. And I think he's the guy now. I think we talked about it last show, and it's pretty apparent. They're ditching Rubio, and he was there to take the punches, and Ted Cruz just kind of stood in the background. Because that's who the establishment's going with now, just based on pure numbers. I don't think they have a choice. And as tyrannical as Donald Trump is, I would really believe he's against the establishment. And you know what?
Man, are you kidding me? He is the establishment.
He is, though. But this is what it is, I think. I believe that he is collectivizing a vote in this country that people have been wanting to vote. There's I'm going to vote conservative candidate. I'm going to vote for the evangelical candidate. I'm going to vote for the socially liberal candidate. This is the FU candidate. That's exactly what he is.
It definitely is.
And they're not hearing his policy. They don't care what he's saying. He is the FU candidate. And that's why people want to vote for him.
True. Very true.
And that's why he can say all these crazy, crazy things. Talking about Edward Snowden, I'd bring him back over here. He's a spy. Right. He's a spy. Like, that's loony.
Well, and even Ted Cruz backed him up, and
that turncoat.
And I was a little bit, and I shouldn't be at all, but I was a little bit surprised to listen to the degree that Ted went on and on about the fact that Edward Snowden needed to be locked up. And I guess you could come to expect that, but I don't know. It's something about when somebody calls himself an ardent, strict constitutionalist. I don't expect to hear them talking about the need for Snowden to be locked up. But wasn't surprised to hear Donald Trump say it.
Oh no, not at all.
Although but I tell you what, if the polls thought tomorrow that the majority of the American people believe that Snowden should be pardoned and was a hero, I guarantee you by tomorrow afternoon we would hear from Donald Trump's mouth that in fact.
He was wrong.
Right.
He was wrong. He changed his mind. He flipped.
That's right. He was.
He got more facts.
Got new information.
He got new information. He was not a spy. He was an American hero. He doesn't care. He'd say whatever. And that's what he's doing. He is a demigod.
Yeah, true. I think he's great.
Oh, Daddy.
Daddy.
He is your daddy. Well, did you hear what he talked about his safe zones?
Safe word.
I missed that one.
How FEMA Camp Andersonville is that one? We're going to have safe zones. We're going to have people come in our country.
You just lost the Asian American vote.
Yeah.
No, are we talking about when his comment about constructing safe zones as opposed to immigration? Right.
Right. He's just going to jail everybody up, like have mini Gazas all throughout the country?
Hey, if you guys didn't like Gitmo, you will absolutely love your new safe space in your own country.
That's it. People have been calling for safe spaces. This is it. He's going to give it to them.
Right.
Well, we'll have a wall up. So, I mean, how much safer can you get?
There's going to be lots of walls.
Yeah. There's lots of walls up now.
Oh, no, there's going to be lots more. There's going to be walls everywhere. We're going to live in a giant concentration camp. That's what Donald Trump's going to do. Or you can be of the mindset that, but he said Federal Reserve. He said it. I heard it. I'm going to vote for him now. Ignore the fact that he has talked about that Edward Snowden is a spy. And, Edward Snowden didn't do anything to risk his life for actual freedom.
Yeah, I mean, he went over to China, went to Russia. He promoted terrorism. That was my favorite line. Is how did he promote terrorism?
How did he promote terrorism?
So he went to Afghanistan.
The only thing he promoted was the NSA, so maybe that's what they consider terrorism.
Well, their claim is he aided and abetted or aided or gave comfort to the enemy. So if the comfort was
that would make
that's so loose.
He got the hell out of Dodge. He was running for his life,
and he didn't go to Russia to start with. He didn't immediately run to Russia and say, "Hey, here I screwed the U.S. government. Here, let me run to Russia."
Right.
It's legitimately out of
and Russia
fear.
took him in grudgingly. I might add.
Yeah, good point.
It's not like they welcomed him with open. Oh yeah, come on over here, man. I got a place for you to stay. I think he had to hang out in an airport for a year or something.
He was there for a long time.
Yeah, that was tough, man.
But the candidates on stage, everybody's favorite FU candidate is saying what he thinks of Edward Snowden. That's terrifying. Terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, we sit here and joke about all these candidates, but, who would I actually vote for? Edward Snowden.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Like, that's, a modern George Washington in my mind. Risked his life and an actual hero. I can't honestly say that I would have done the same thing in his position.
Man, can you only imagine the first 24 hours, the first 48 hours?
Yeah, I mean, in Citizen 4, when they're leading up to him releasing it, I mean, there was fear.
Oh, I'm sure.
You could see the fear in his eyes, but he just kept going with it. And he did it because it was the right thing to do. The sad part to me is that so many people have said that for years and years that, our communications were being monitored.
Right.
And it was, you're such a conspiracy theorist. That's not true. That's not possible. And overnight, it was automatic. Like, there it is.
Right. It just took Snowden to really getting it out there. Mm-hmm. I think it was more about the way that he did it. William Brantley, I believe his name is, had done a lot of the stuff, done a lot reported in the past about a lot of the stuff that Snowden got to. But I think it was just now, today, in our time period, and the way in which, the manner in which that he did it, I think is what really got people paying attention to it.
Well, I think by him coming out and saying, "Hey, I just did this,"
right?
I think that helped the cause.
Oh, certainly.
It wasn't just some anonymous source, or this was putting a face to it. I think helped push it through. But we're talking about our next president, whoever it may be, considering Edward Snowden a treasonous villain that may or may not be a spy now.
Every single candidate on the dais on both sides of the fence has spoken out against Snowden. I believe Bernie Sanders probably takes top prize for. Well, he just gave him a little jail time,
But do you think this is actually
He's
something
a hero,
they believe?
He did.
I don't know. I don't know.
This is one of those things where I really wonder, where part of me says, well, at least...
I don't think Ted Cruz... Well, it's hard to say because I think... Which Ted Cruz was the act? I don't trust either one of them.
That's the same one that pushed that supported the NDAA and the Patriot Act?
I think we saw the real Ted Cruz trying to crawl out of his mouth, dude. I'm just saying. That really happened. That was on live TV.
Maybe Ted Cruz was in the back trying to get Trump's endorsement.
He was. Ooh, you saw what Daddy did for Chris Christie, didn't you?
And Romney.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned Romney. I just saw a photo I was showing to Shannon. It was a picture of none other than Rubio, Romney, and Jeb all on a plane here. It looks like it's been within the past 2 or 3 days this was posted.
Oh, wow. Let me see this.
All together. Looking like they are the quintessential one arm of the establishment anyways. If that doesn't look like they're having
that's a cute picture.
A little get-together there.
That's cute. So, okay, yeah, here's my theory now. This is what's going to happen. See, I'm trying to think positive again. So, typically negative, trying to think positive. I believe this is all a scam. I think that on election night, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump will rip off their faces, and we'll find out that it's a rubber mask, and it'll be Tina Fey and Alec Baldwin. And they'll say live from New York at Saturday night. And once this happens, we'll be like, okay, we get a do-over. We're going to have the real election now. And people are going to be so thankful that those people aren't president. They'll be like, oh, let's just vote for Jeb. I don't care.
Jeb!
Right.
This is like, oh, gosh, let's just get Jeb Bush back.
Yeah.
That was when things were normal. And that's how they get their third Bush in. They put on this show.
We can just relive it like the Christmas story
That's
where
it.
Scrooge we go to get a glimpse of what Christmas would be like.
Right.
With,
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the Bushes
Groundhog's Day.
have enough money to, orchestrate
That's
something
it.
like that,
It's
right?
going to be great. It's going to be great. We're all going to be happy. We're all going to be like, oh, my gosh, we get to vote for Jeb. This is great.
We'll never do that again.
Yeah. We'll never do anything that crazy again.
Why don't we just go
And we'll
ahead?
all be in line.
We've flirted with actually, either A, not voting at all, or B, a possible write-in candidate. My boy Vermin Supreme is still near and dear to my heart, but
Who claims he's taking the Libertarian Party?
why don't we really start?
Yeah, I know.
Why don't we really start pushing Jeb as an alternative candidate, similar to Vermin Supreme?
Oh, I've been pushing that. Jeb with an exclamation point?
Yeah.
Me and him go.
I mean, it's a
You're
way-
right.
it's-
You have been an ardent supporter from the beginning.
Yeah, we go way back.
Hey, that was my pony. Now, when we sat
No, I
down-
told you Rubio was going to win, but as soon
We'll
as I
go
found
back
out,
and listen to the tapes. You and Nick Burnaby are both on record pulling for the pony that's still up there getting his ass whipped by Daddy
didn't
right
know.
now.
Look,
Daddy whipped his ass.
Nobody
Little
was pulling
Marco.
for him. Nobody was pulling for that guy.
Ain't nobody pulling for him now. That's for damn sure. He has been thrown.
Nobody
to the
was
wolves.
ever pulling
Even
for him.
Fox
I just
News
told
is tearing
you.
him
I just,
apart.
I just told you who they put the money on, and I was right. Nick was right.
Your pony's still in the race.
No, he's gonna lose. They flipped
Your
on him.
pony's missing a ball and a leg right now. But
They flipped on him. They're going with Cruz
Oh, yeah,
now.
of course they
I
did.
just got done explaining this. Do you listen?
no, I don't.
You're bleeding out of your ears. You're bleeding out of your whatever. I mean, come on, Shannon.
I was watching the debate tonight, and I don't know. I think I'm changing my position now that maybe not Donald Trump isn't so bad after all.
Oh my gosh! Shut up.
I'm sorry, I couldn't even tell that lie with a straight face.
But
But he don't take corporate money.
oh no, he is corporate
Man,
money.
He's a businessman.
Why are we talking about anything anything
I'm
else
sorry.
that happened in the debate except for the fact that Donald Trump was bragging about how big his dick is?
Yeah, who was the?
That really needs to be the whole topic.
I want to go
of this
ahead. I
whole
want
show.
to. I want to go ahead and throw this out here again. I gave this warning for last show. I'm going to do it again. I understand this is anti-media, and I do completely understand there is a lot of actually way more important news going on in the world. Please go check out antimedia.org. We have actual legitimate real stories that have nothing to do with this charade that you've been watching on TV.
and are not corporate sponsored, I might add.
They are not at all. Please go check out the top stories on the antimedia.org tonight. But what we're witnessing is historic theater. And I would be doing everyone, or really just myself, and I'll be selfish here, doing a disservice for the sake of humor of not just going off on these debates. We will never see anything this insane again. We are in idiocracy.
This is like the
So
Haley's
I
Comet.
can't help but just rant and rave about it. Why wouldn't I want to?
This is kind of like Haley's Comet of
sorry, we've turned into the Talking Dead.
It really is. We'll never see another in our lifetime
Yeah.
like it. I mean, think about it. Seriously.
Now we need a bunch of guys dressed up in white sneakers ready to drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
It's...
That's what it is.
Yeah. And there will be plenty of Kool-Aid offered once one of these candidates, one of these assholes up here gets an offer.
It is. Look at the people that are coming out to support Donald Trump. They might as well be ruining any reputation they thought that they had at one time to get out there just to support Donald Trump.
Well, Donald Trump is eventually going to get
You get two types of Donald Trump supporters, in my opinion. You get the type of supporter that you think is your typical, like they're actually for him. Like it's not, like they're for this guy. Like this is it.
Like they let their daughter have his child.
Yeah, like they're kind of off and they're wild and like, oh yeah, this is going to happen. Let's do this. And then there's the other type of supporter, like I guess compared to the Chris Christie, like they've bought in. Like they kind of sold something a little bit just to be like, yes, yeah, I'll go with Trump.
Well, there is one upside.
Like he hooked them.
This is kind of like a public service announcement to some of our listeners who happen to be employees of Walmart. If Donald Trump is speaking in your town that particular day and you work at Walmart, request to work a double because that'll be the slowest day you ever work because everybody that normally shops at your store are going to be sitting down there chanting, build a wall, build a wall. Believe it.
You know what? One thing I noticed it's funny that I didn't. For the first time, I saw somebody seem to heckle the crap out of Donald Trump tonight and didn't get thoroughly abused. Did you notice Did you notice that somebody in the crowd?
There were like 5 at the one today about Romney. Let me tell you something. I believe this. I think I know there's people that go protest him. I think some of these protesters are plants for him to bow up to him. Yeah, I think it's a plan to show how strong he is and how he don't take crap, and I think it's a mental thing. So people see him launching somebody out because he will take care of business. I don't think they all are. I've met one of them. We interviewed one of them on this radio show. But there were 5 in that one from today. 5.
Yeah.
I don't buy that. The one he kind of Liam Gallagher up to with the KKK for Trump, and he had on the star, and Trump went over there and got in his face. Like, who's going to do that? And I think it's a play. I think it's a mental thing. I think it's psychology. I think it's brilliant propaganda. I think Donald Trump knows exactly what he's doing.
No, he's definitely not an idiot whatsoever.
I think he knows exactly. Like, he's playing people. I don't think this is the person he is behind the scenes. I think he's playing a game, and he is a master at propaganda.
So which Donald Trump is going to show up at the White House?
Anybody that's capable of swaying people to that level is terrifying to me.
Yeah.
So I don't project a good Donald Trump.
And we've commented about this off air about how, I don't know, this particular election cycle has galvanized people in such an odd way. And I'm not just talking about the Trump supporters. I'm talking about your Bernie supporters and your Hillary supporters.
No, the Hillary supporters are make-believe.
The few Marco Rubio supporters left. And I think pretty much
those were all manufactured.
All of them are headed.
They were
to
real,
the,
but they made them in a factory.
Well, we've talked about this, though. There's been something just, I don't know, people have been really personally invested in this particular election.
They have.
We see this. We see this year in and year out in the state of Alabama with football.
That's important.
Alabama versus
that's different.
Team.
Listen, I haven't seen anybody on that stage deliver 4 national titles in 7 years. So who cares?
Well,
who cares? Look, we all know the score here.
Yeah, we do. Roll Tide.
I tell you what, I thought about making this public knowledge earlier today. I'm going to go ahead and do it now live on this broadcast right now on Anti-Media Radio. I'm flipping my endorsement from the Nature Boy Ric Flair officially, and I am now backing Nick Saban 2016.
I'm down with that.
I think he would take care of business.
Now, all kidding aside, if he ran for governor of Alabama,
Do I sound like I'm kidding?
Landslide.
Does anything I say, does that sound like I'm joking?
No, not a bit.
So you
Right, Nick Saban for president.
So
Yeah.
So in other
Look,
words,
we're
gonna hear a press conference in about 2 weeks. Nick Saban's gonna have a bottle of Coke sitting right in front of him. I didn't hear anything about me running for president. Ask this bottle of Coke. Maybe it knows.
Yeah, maybe it knows. Shit through a tin
Roll
horn.
Tide. Roll Tide.
Because this is, look, why not? Let's just pick who we think should be in charge. Nick Saban's giving me 4 national titles. Because, look, we're all voting with emotion. Mm-hmm. Bernie's going to do this. Bernie's going to do that. Bernie's going to bankrupt the country is what Bernie's
Bernie
going
ain't
to
going to do nothing after we saw the
first, he's never going to
election
pass
results the other night.
Then you got Trump. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Ain't none of that's going to happen.
I'm telling you, the day Trump gets in, within the first 100 days, he'll immediately start moving left. Excuse me, to the center at this point.
Oh, yeah.
You mean kind of like
he'll
he's voted pretty much his whole entire life?
All his immigration stuff, every bit of it, will go out the window.
Door. Yeah, right. And that's what I'm really kind of growing curiosity about what he supposedly said in this meeting with. Look,
I've said this about Donald Trump since the beginning of this.
He's full of shit.
Oh, he completely is. But the Snowden stuff, I believe him on that. All that kind of stuff, NSA, Apple, he's way too strong on that.
I can believe that.
So that's what really scares me. I think he would have a police state, But I do not see how a man that is he's a global individual in the most global city in the world, building real estate in the most global city in the world, has to do with all kinds of people, and has his entire life in the most diverse city. How is this man a racist? I don't believe it. I've never believed it.
Well,
and I think he's saying what he has to say.
He is running
scary.
as a Republican, so
that's scary.
That he's either supposed to have the perception that he's vaguely racist, or we can go off the many things that have come out of his mouth, which seemed pretty racist to me at the time. And still,
but I don't believe he actually is.
Yeah, well,
he's galvanizing that vote.
I would agree with you too. I think he's probably doing exactly what he needs to do to get elected. I'm reminded of his first wife claims that he used to actually.
So basically, you're saying that he's a white Al Sharpton, right?
No, he's good at what he does.
And he's probably paid a lot more in taxes than Al Sharpton does as well.
Oh, yeah.
Although, I'll be honest with you, on that point, I don't know. I'm not one of those people to line up and say, screw Al Sharpton, he didn't pay his taxes.
Nah, I got plenty of other reasons.
I'll let him slide on that one, right?
Yeah, I could care less about his taxes. But does that not give either one of y'all pause to think that this guy's that calculated? I totally believe it. This is not the free-for-all that it appears to be.
Well,
he knows exactly who he's talking to.
Corporate America, even though they're already largely behind her anyways, but corporate America is definitely going to run to Hillary Clinton droves.
I'm going to tell you this. If the polls for Trump, because I think that he did have his weakest debate.
If that's even possible.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's kind of weak for some of his other performances, but man, the dick joke thing, man, God, that
made his poll number.
That was almost, of course it did.
The what?
The dick joke.
Oh, okay. I thought you said.
About how big is, ain't nobody worried about what's going on.
Nobody's complaining.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Yeah. Well, you've seen his old lady. I mean, you think, a woman that hot would just be sticking around for money?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I do, actually. I would.
I mean, do you think his daughter would still be his daughter if not?
Well, that's another story for another state, Mississippi. But yeah,
Hey, listen. I told everybody, lay off Ivanka. Have y'all seen her? Lay off of her.
She's on the internet, right?
How about a lay off?
I wouldn't dare disrespect my eyes to think of anything other than that woman is just beautiful.
Yeah, she is.
I don't care what her daddy is.
Daddy.
I don't care nothing about it. I'm going to just look at her and be like,
Come here, girl.
You know what's up.
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with that? I'm married. My wife knows. My wife knows about what I think about Ivanka.
Yeah, is that one of yours on your free pass list?
No, I don't. I don't need. Look, I don't have to be. I just look at her. That's all I need. I see it.
You know, you guys are married. Both of y'all are married. I'm not married. Do y'all have a free pass list?
I don't.
I don't.
Yeah, your wife would kill you. I know better than
I just don't care enough. I'd have
In
to.
Espanol?
See, I'd have to talk to somebody, and I don't want to particularly do that. I have to talk. No, that sounds horrible.
What if there were no talking involved?
No communication in any
But
way.
she gets a list too, though. So that's how it works. Give and take.
Well, I'm saying already nobody.
It's like Trump was talking about earlier, making deals.
The give and take.
Yeah.
The give and take. Hey, how about him changing his position right there on the stage tonight? That was fantastic.
I'm not flexible, but I've got to be flexible at all times.
Yeah, I'm taking care of business. My yes is yes, my no is no.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll totally bend on that.
When you're in business, you do these kind of things.
Yeah, we're making deals here. It's all about making deals. Everybody just chill out. We're making deals here.
It's like he's patterning himself off of Bob Barker.
But one thing about it, Obama, a few months in after Obama's first election, a lot of us said, "Where was the media on this?" The media didn't do their job. We had no idea that Obama was going to be who Obama was going to be. Well, at this point, 6 months in, a year into a Trump administration, are we going to be able to make the same claim that the media had no idea? I don't think, look at whatever media source you're talking about. At some point, we're fixing to, and I think we're fixing to get into it now that we see him. If he's named, in fact, the Republican candidate, we're going to see the media really start to come out and hopefully do their jobs that they didn't do when the Obama administration first came to office.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've learned one thing, that an establishment exists, and I think they're using it. I think they're using it to their advantage.
Oh, they're always going to. I don't think any of us are going. I mean, what?
But they're admitting stuff they would never admit, and I tell you what, that leads me into my next clip here. I've got a couple of clips actually on Bill O'Reilly tonight.
Oh,
Newt
that guy.
Gingrich was on the program.
They're right in the closet, man. Mitt Romney and
let me just
Newt Gingrich. Hadn't heard these words in a while.
Let me play you this clip,
all right,
and we'll go from there. There's two of them.
Oh, yeah. You say so.
Okay, let me start it over here. A little difficulty with the sound.
Yeah, you did. Well, yeah, that's not coming through.
It is not.
Oh well.
What kind of nonsense is that?
I don't know. We're still working out the audio bugs here. I don't know if for those of you who joined us Tuesday, we have kind of moved to a new little studio setup here.
I'm doing it.
I sound like I got big balls like Barry White. I love it.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
can we talk more about Trump's little statement about how big he is downstairs?
Yes, let's do that. I'm glad you said that.
I don't know why we're talking about anything else.
Because Demi Lovato, I'm sure some of you guys
who is that?
That's a singer, Demi Lovato. She's got a couple of hits out apparently.
Is she on the drugs?
She might be. She could be.
Is she on the auto tune?
She probably is.
Oh.
I only know this because of my days as a skating rink DJ.
Oh.
I used to play a lot of Demi Lovato, but she's just come out and said, if you're insecure enough to bring up the size of your penis in a presidential debate, one has to wonder why you're so defensive. This was a tweet she sent out. Normally you would not expect a presidential candidate to answer a tweet like that, but normally you would expect it to be the subject matter.
Listen. As insane as it is, and Lord forgive me, don't strike me dead for making it even sound like I'm defending Donald Trump, because I'm not. In Trump's defense, little Marco Rubio did bring it up first. This is how it started. Little phone party Marco Rubio.
White shoes.
Just saying.
My shoes are white now.
Suit says social conservative. The boots say fabulous.
Yes. Those were some nice boots.
They are. He's got good stuff.
He was on what was that? He was on Fallon and talking about that whole incident, and
it was
Fallon actually bought a pair of boots exactly like that and wore them on. And man, those are some nice looking shoes.
Okay, I'm gonna try this clip again. We're just rolling with it.
You better.
It's not working.
I got it all plugged in on my end.
Where is it supposed to? Where's it rolling through?
We're so unprofessional.
Oh, I'm not.
I think it, and it really was. It was the dick joke thing. I mean, I think that really.
Oh yeah, I mean, when your presidential race goes into that, like that's the reality.
I mean, Trump doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be professional anymore. Why do I have to be professional?
No, we don't. It's over.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the reality of the situation. We're just gonna get the sound right on here on the air.
Did you do it?
Yeah, it's playing. It's not working.
It's not working.
Here, let me do this. Where's it rolling through?
I don't know. Whatever. Do something. It's sort of working, but it's not.
They just cannot imagine sharing. Well, because he's an outsider. He's not them. He's not part of the club.
We're getting it.
To the very real prospect of Donald Trump becoming the leader of the party, and it absolutely drives them crazy. They just cannot imagine sharing. Well, because he's an outsider. He's not them. He's not part of the club. He's uncontrollable. He hasn't been through the initiation rites. He didn't belong to the secret society.
He didn't belong to the secret society. That's some nonsense.
The sound is nonsense.
Who's the sound director again?
I don't. Yeah, why do I have to be the director all of a sudden?
Yeah. Well, we'll work on all that. So here's the deal. What's going to happen in this country? Like, these are the actual choices left. This is it.
Yeah.
Like, did you Google about moving to Canada?
No, I'm not a pussy.
I did not, but it's funny you mentioned that because
I hadn't either. I want to.
It's funny.
I thought about it.
I'm sure you guys saw that Google searches had completely skyrocketed for searches on how to move to Canada right after this last debate here. Not surprisingly.
I heard that. Oh, what's that idiot singer? The one, Billy Ray Cyrus's little boy.
Who?
Miley Cyrus.
Don't talk about my baby. She's cute. I like.
She said she was going to leave.
I like Miley.
She said she was going to leave the country.
She said it.
I don't care.
Another auto-tune queen.
I don't care. She can actually sing, believe it or not. It's a real thing.
She cannot.
Anyway.
Oh, don't break my heart. My achy, breaky heart.
You leave that man out of here.
I mean, seriously. Sitting here goofing off. Whatever. This is where we're at in the country. It's all a big show. It's all insane. So, talk about Canadian real estate.
Well, I hear it gets a lot cheaper the further north you move.
What they say. Kevin, bring us back down to earth. I'm going to get this sound working.
Yeah, Kevin, we're just going to throw the whole show over to you.
Yeah, hey, man, I've got nothing. But, I do think it's interesting. Of all the people that you could probably, even if some of us, when Obama was running for office, some of us could have kind of predicted, to an extent, what kind of direction that he would be going in if he was to get elected. Trump is one of those few people that I will say that I can't. I'd like to make some predictions about what we expect to see, but at the same time, I feel like he's probably one of the least ones that we could possibly even make any predictions about because he's such a, I don't want to call him a wild card, but he's so liable you can't trust the things that he says. I don't believe he chose to become a so-called Reagan conservative at the age of 70 years old for one bit. Mm-hmm. But I think it'll be interesting. I think this guy, of course, would have said the same thing about Obama. I'd be curious. I think he's definitely headed for the White House. Will he be a one-term president? Will he be that hellacious?
I think if any of this is legit, this won't be a 3-week presidency. Like, if anything, he's saying, look, the foreign policy stuff, I'm trying to play you.
No, you know who he quoted tonight? You know who he quoted tonight when he was asked about foreign policy? This is one thing I thought was interesting. When he was asked, he was pressed about who his advisors would be. One of the first people that he actually quoted was none other than Richard Haas, who has for a long time been the president of the Council on Foreign Relations. So Trump tells you that he will not be beholden to the establishment, but when it comes to foreign policy...
I'm going to try this clip one more time. And
to the very real prospect of Donald Trump becoming the leader of the party, and it absolutely drives them crazy. They just cannot imagine sharing. Well, because he's an outsider. He's not them. He's not part of the club. He's uncontrollable. He hasn't been through the initiation rites. He didn't belong to the secret society. And I think that they don't see him They have no idea how to relate to him.
Again, this was Newt Gingrich on Bill O'Reilly earlier tonight, and the next clip that I play is the most telling and ties in exactly to what you're talking about, Kevin.
The objective reality is that Donald Trump is an American nationalist in an old-fashioned sense. We have been governed by elites, and I've been part of it. Look, I helped pass NAFTA.
I was part of it.
I've been through all this stuff. And the question is whether or not you think we need to take a deep breath and rethink some of what we're doing. We've had a very clear policy since World War II. We have built a worldwide system that has worked reasonably well. And the Trump argument is that that system now no longer serves American interests.
Is he not admitting we've had an empire
Russian
since World War II?
Oh, definitely.
This is a real honest fight. And the traditional national security group in the Republican Party is appalled by the degree to which Trump would disrupt the system that's been built since World War II. All right, so both.
And here's the deal. I think that Donald Trump should never be president. I am terrified of a lot of his policies. Where I agree with him on, and the reason I think he's an actual anti-establishment candidate is foreign policy. I think he would rein some of that in, and that's why he is such a threat to the establishment. I think Newt Gingrich actually just told the truth. He said, you know, there's elites that run this country. I know, I was a part of it. I helped pass NAFTA.
Right. Well, he did. He was very responsible for doing that. But then Trump turns around and says one of the main people that he's asked when pressed on tonight during the debate on his foreign policy, one of the people he was asked, you know, he's claimed that when he got into office, he would choose to pick, you know, he would surround himself with smart people who could inform him of the correct way to go about these decisions. And he names none other than Richard Haas, the president of the Council on Foreign Relations, as the very first person for whom he would go to pick his foreign policy. You know, this Council on Foreign Relations has a big hand. A lot of these guys are spread all over the place, but they do a lot of the controlling when it comes to foreign policy. You know, we've seen Hillary Clinton talk about their work. Dick Cheney's talked about them. Donald Rumsfeld.
So you think it's a big show?
Oh yeah. Well, I think Kennedy ran into the same problem when he got into office. He planned on picking representatives and his advisors from a group of people he expected, to be of his kilt and who he wanted to pick from. Instead, he was given a list of people to pick from, and one of his complaints that they were all coming from the same pool of people who his predecessors had all been chosen to pick from. And it's been that way in this country for a long time. That's why when it comes to foreign policy, I think we'll continue to see a lot of the same intervention. It'll be just like what Trump said he'll flip the same way that we've seen him flip already. He'll get into office and he'll say, look, I did what I told you I'd do. I surrounded myself with smart people that are educated on about this, and this is what they've told me, and this is why I've reacted. Obama was supposed to be
play it off.
Right, and Obama was supposed to be the big anti. Well, how many people are going to really care? Me and you we love to hear him talk about foreign policy, but how many people were standing up there? Remember, he got booed. This man got booed for telling the truth about George Bush and about our getting into Afghanistan and Iraq, and now he's since...
Oh, he flipped on Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah.
He flipped on that.
Well, he's flipped on Iraq, too. He's come back and said that he don't actually know if Bush was lying or not. You'll have to go ask him personally. But so that's why I don't think most of the American people are going to be really concerned. Right now, we've got ISIS and we've got Obama.
Because they're so easily convinced in the war.
Listen here, both of y'all.
Terrorism.
Both of y'all.
Terrorism.
That man has a huge cock.
But see, I think that's what he says.
I mean, why are we talking about anything else? All of this other stuff, it's irrelevant.
He's going to use it to cut off the heads of the enemies and their families.
He stands over a table, takes off his pants, and that's what happens.
And ISIS falls dead.
ISIS.
Their aunts and uncles just hit the ground.
Y'all are making this out like this is a real thing. Y'all are actually discussing like finer points of policy and this, that, and the other. Who gives a flying buck at this point? Are you serious?
If you're a Trump supporter, you probably do not.
Did anybody just see the same debate that I just saw?
Everything is based on emotion right now.
The front runner, the best line that he gave of the evening was a reference to the size of his cock.
I understand. I mean, that's why.
Y'all are trying to make this out like this is real. Oh yeah, we're going to elect a real president.
We're not.
Bullshit.
In 10 years, if we carry on this, if Donald Trump was running in 10 years at this pace, he would be flipping it out and swinging it around.
Absolutely.
And he would be elected tomorrow.
With Kanye West as his running mate.
Yeah.
But this came out of nowhere.
I really don't think it's.
Well, he'd already referenced. This is something I was asking about earlier.
Like we went in a hyperdrive with this.
Well, he mentioned Romney would have came to him and for the
got on his knees.
He said he was sure that he could have and I could not help but think now, knowing and listening to Donald Trump make his penis reference, that he probably in the back of his mind was testing the waters when he made that comment about Romney hitting his knees.
Yeah.
What other man even makes that joke about hitting your knees?
Yeah, and Daddy's going to fill your mouth full of something good. You do what Daddy says.
And it won't be a Trump steak, probably.
And yet,
he's possibly going to be the next president of the United States. You know that, right?
It don't matter, man.
Yeah.
His wife's been naked.
Yeah.
But no, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Actually,
Trump makes penis jokes from the stage. It makes references to making love with his daughter.
Yeah.
And that is our president of America.
Yeah. And Megyn Kelly sitting there in her chair with her, blood coming out of wherever. Megyn Kelly looked great tonight, by the way.
No.
Can I comment on that?
People have opinions.
Can I comment on that?
There's another lizard person.
I think she looked great tonight. She had to spend at least 6 hours on
There
her
ain't no Y in that word. There ain't no Y in Megan.
Whatever. There ain't no candy in that van either.
No, there ain't.
No. No matter who's driving
there's
it.
Not.
No matter who's driving it. What he or she may look like.
I like that I try to intentionally go with the really hick Southern accent talking about all this because it's a joke. Like it's an absolute joke. So why not sit here and pretend and have fun?
Yeah. It's times like this I wish I still drank. I'm just saying. Because I could definitely go for one right now.
Man, nothing wrong with that.
Nah, there's about 4 things wrong with that.
Oh, geez.
You talk about keeping it real.
Anyway, got about 15 minutes here left.
That was a root beer, Kevin.
I know. That's why I was laughing.
You got to see the look. Kevin did a double take too. He's like, man, he just pulled out a beer.
I thought you did.
It is a root beer.
I saw.
Diet root beer at that.
Gross.
Delicious.
So how's our sound running here?
I don't know. I mean, why are we still doing this show? Why aren't we in there watching the rest of the debate? I made the statement before the show. We really should have just went ahead and played the debate in the background and just had the two of us just sitting there.
I'll do it. I'll pull it up.
It was like Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah.
3000. It really was.
Get the sound working, director.
Which one you at? You plug back in?
How about that?
I completely unplugged you because all that hum. You need to get a better wire.
Yeah, that's the problem. You need to get a better producer.
So, John Stossel's going to be hosting the libertarian debates on Fox Business.
Nobody cares about them. They don't look. They don't.
No.
Let's just live in reality from this moment on. Nobody cares.
I know. It's a small...
Austin Peterson, John McAfee, who I do actually like, and Gary Johnson.
I like John McAfee a lot.
John McAfee is a straight
We've had him on the show. Go back and check the clips out on YouTube. Check out Anti-Media Radio on YouTube.
You should consider having him on. I think you should have him on again, yeah.
McAfee's awesome, man.
I'd love to reach out to him.
That was like, we've done a few interviews.
Hey, remind me to tell you a story about him when we get off the air that he told at the debates the other night.
I want to hear it on air. I mean, it was at the debates.
I mean, he told it, but I'd feel like I was talking trash.
Did it come
I say we put it to a vote.
Yeah. We're going to do some democracy. Oh, yeah, and by the way, I'm a super delegate, so start talking.
All right, Hill. Here goes.
Go for it.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Oh, no.
Man, we've been talking about the Trump dick joke this whole so the show has gone completely off the rails.
It was nothing negative at all. It's just
gotta plug it back. I gotta plug it back.
Just something interesting that that he brought up about some of his past and present life. Interesting guy, but it's amazing how many people that I know. Not a lot of people are worried about the libertarian debates. They've always been a little small third party. Right now, we're hoping at least if we can get some 5%, that's what we're hoping. If we can get 5% in the nation, then we've got at least all this talk about a third party will be on the ballot. So at least we get some more some more action. And as much as crazy as McAfee is, I can't help but love. He's like a train wreck. I love reading about him. I love watching some of his interviews.
Oh, he's a train wreck,
and he's an interesting guy, though, man. He really is.
He's a train wreck. Did you watch the same debate that we were watching a minute ago?
Hey, listen, there's more than one train wreck out there. All right, we've seen more than one of those guys out there. But yeah, he's an interesting guy. But I was listening to him talk on RT earlier a couple days ago, and he actually explained to the FBI how exactly they needed to go about getting into the Apple's iPhone, and then had a little interesting exchange with the FBI. That guy definitely, he's not going to be the president, but I enjoy listening to his antics. And
you want to talk about balls? Oh man!
Oh, he's got them, dude.
He's got them in spades. Yeah, we had kind of referenced that in our interview with him a few months back. He is definitely probably the only living world's most interesting man that I've ever met.
He really probably is.
I've met some interesting guys before, but that guy takes the cake.
He does it.
Real deal. Y'all check him out sometime, because he is running for president. You know, the funny thing is we have more than just two options being shoved down our throats to vote for president of the United States. Funny how that works.
Wow, nobody hears about those people.
Yeah.
Money,
I don't know, Vermin
money,
Supremes.
money.
I think more people are hearing of Mr. Supreme's antics than I'd ever heard of, even when Shannon was talking about him.
Yeah, 7,000 people showed up in Vermont, got in their car, drove down to the polling place, pulled up both middle fingers and said, "I'm not voting for anybody," and wrote that on the ballot and got back in their car and drove home. That's how pissed off they were about this situation.
All right, I'm testing the sound.
As sure as you're standing there. Now, a politician wouldn't say that. And you saw this Vicente Fox, the previous president, who, by the way, threw a horrible word out. He threw the F word out, okay, the F-bomb. He threw the F-bomb. Can you imagine if I used that word? Man, that would be a big story. That would be all over the world.
Would it?
I mean, it might, but it wouldn't be a big deal. It would disqualify him from anything. Would you be surprised?
That's nonsense. Come on, YouTube.
What is that? What are you watching?
I'm trying to prove a point here, but
Donald's no stranger to the F-bomb, that's for sure.
Can I just start playing video games on my phone now?
yeah.
Did you see recently where a couple of days ago, Saudi Arabia said, let's raise the price, let's cut back production. Can you believe it? You're going to be paying $5 and $6 a gallon for gasoline pretty soon. And they want to go in and raise the price of oil because we have nobody in Washington that sits back and said, you're not going to raise that fucking price.
Donald just told us
that was Daddy talking.
Donald just told us he would never say that.
That was Daddy talking.
The issue is not the man using the word.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is that he acts like, oh my goodness, I can't believe someone said that. They need to apologize immediately. I would never say that. It would be world news if I said that.
Add that to the list of things that Donald Trump has completely contradicted himself
Everything that's come out of his mouth. And I feel with the libertarian base going towards him, I think he's pulling people in.
Oh, no, it's not the libertarian base.
It's not libertarian. I think he's bringing in anarchists. I think he's bringing in a lot of ex-Ron Paul people. I think he's bringing in people that I never thought would support anybody.
Well, those people are ignorant, but I'll be honest with you. I think a lot of those people are going for we're so tired of the establishment that we'll vote for somebody else.
Again, it's the FU vote. I get it, but you're not listening to what comes out of the man's mouth.
Oh, right. It can completely be worse, and I think that's the point. Justin Amash kind of pled that case just a few days ago that quite possibly Trump could be worse than an establishment Hillary Clinton. To be honest with you. And I can see that, but I do not have a lot of faith. I think Donald will be accepted into the establishment rather well, to be honest with you. I think Donald Trump will put the suit on when he gets into position. I think he'll put the suit on. Donald Trump's not stupid. He knows that he's playing a game and he plays to win. And he plays at negotiating, and negotiating takes two sets of people, two groups of size, and I think Donald Trump's going to wear that completely.
I think he's doing it.
And I think we'll find out the establishment means a lot of other things besides what most people think of when they think establishment.
Oh, I don't think, it's obviously not just within the realm of the Republican Party. or anything like that. I think that's how they're trying to sell Rubio, and they keep getting away with using the word establishment. I think it's just, the GOP establishment inside the party. That's not what this is. This is the military contractors. This is big pharma. This is the banks. This is everybody's interest being served by getting their PR guy. There's a reason the first two letters in the word president are PR.
Right.
Yep. Bingo.
So I cannot get over the first person that Trump mentions when he mentions foreign policy is Richard fucking Haas. Because if you just look at some of the quotes that Richard Haas has had about the need for countries to give up their sovereignty for a world government. I mean, this guy is a total globalist. And this is, and even Barack Obama, this guy is on par with a Zbigniew Brzezinski. He's a big Brzezinski guy. The fact that
his daughter works on MSNBC.
Yeah, Mika Brzezinski, right? Yeah. And and her and Morning Joe have been kind of on a little bit favorable to Trump, right? And I'm telling you, Trump's going to do what anybody else would do in this position. He's going to get into office. He's going to put people around him. He's going to pick them from a pool of people, and we're going to get the same big government solutions we've had I think
it's a play. I really, honestly think this is a play. I think this is done to get Trump elected.
Well, he'll get into office and he'll say, "Hey, who do I surround myself with? Give me people with experience." And who will they go to? The people that have had experience running this operation for years and years and years.
Especially with the Romney thing today. I mean, there's no way.
Romney has crawled completely out of a cave somewhere.
But that was such a bad play.
It was bad timing, but it's exactly
but I think it was on purpose. That's what I'm saying to you. Like, I think that it was an intentional bad play. I think it was intentionally obvious to be like, look, the establishment's coming after him. That means the more they attack him, the stronger he looks. He is not like any other candidate we've ever had. The more he is attacked, because it's the FU vote. So the more they come at him, the more people cling to him. They want him through. That means there's a reason that every single time they go to Ted Cruz or every single time they go to Marco Rubio, they go within 3 sentences, they say the name Donald Trump. If they were trying to really shut this guy out, they would never say his name and they would stick him on the end of the stage.
Oh, yeah.
I think they tried that to an extent earlier in the when they first started running.
Yeah, I think this is a play I think this is reverse psychology. You're going anti-establishment. There's a reason that the mainstream corporate media, for the first time ever, all of a sudden, the establishment, Marco Rubio is the establishment candidate. Donald Trump's anti-establishment. Donald Trump's horrible. He's anti-establishment. Can you believe that? Can you believe what anti-establishment Donald Trump said the other day? And they just keep forcing that. They keep him talking every other sentence in the debates because they always reference him. If you were really, really did not want this guy. Look, if I was running for president and I was on that stage in a debate and I was trying to beat Donald Trump, the last thing I would do is bring up Donald Trump's name because I don't want him talking. I want to talk.
Well, that's what Kasich did, and how much time did Kasich get?
That's it, but Kasich is just some goofball like, it's, Joe Biden meets Don Knotts. Who cares about Kasich? But if you're forceful, you can get yourself in the well, I can't even say that. I can't say that because Rand Paul was screaming at the top of his lungs in the Wake area.
And he definitely had to be the most anti-establishment candidate that there was in this last race.
Yeah, I mean, and what's anti-establishment even mean anymore?
Oh, right, I know.
Yeah. Or is anybody anti-establishment? Is anybody? So it's just a couple of minutes here left on the show. Shannon, any last words for us? I'm still going to get the sound.
I don't know why we talked about anything else this whole entire show other than Donald Trump's cock. But, I mean, whatever. This is your show. I just do what you tell me to.
Yeah, I really didn't want to talk about that too much at all.
Should we expect to see a new Twitter?
That's what this whole process has been denigrated to.
Oh, that Twitter handle exists already.
Doesn't it's got, dude? I guarantee we'll see.
How does it not?
It has to.
Check it out.
I'ma let them know through the stereo. Yo, here we go through the